Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to your Summer Toastmasters Leadership Institute 2021. And I know we're here for the nuts and bolts session for Vice President of Membership. So I'm assuming that many of you who are here are either an officer or you may be someone who is interested in becoming an officer and understanding what the Vice President of Membership role entails. So while we're getting started, I'd love for you all to just post it in the chat, your name, which club you're a part of, your home club, show your pride, and also maybe share what officer positions you hold. I'm sure that at least you would be a VP membership here right now, but if not, just share whatever officer position you are at. Maybe you can also share if this is your first time being an officer or you have been an officer before. You can also share whether this is your first time in this role, or you may be just a club member who is interested in learning more. All of you are welcome, and I'm sure that everything that we discussed today will be for all of you. To introduce myself, my name is Max Prasad, and as you can see, my face here and the face on the screen actually match, so I am the same person. And I am currently the Akatir Division Director. Very honored to be serving in this role and very thankful to Toastmasters for giving me all of these opportunities to grow and excel and also serve the community. I started in Toastmasters when a few years ago in 2016, when I first joined my job at Microchip Technology. And one of my coworkers invited me to a Toastmasters meeting. And that is how I became a member of my home club called Pickmasters, which is an amazing club. I love being part of that club. And it has been a great journey since then. My first officer role was actually Vice President of Membership. And then I became the president of the club. I've also served as an area director, participated in many speech contests, and right now I am the division director. But moving on, let's see if I can progress forward the slides here, and I can. Before we get started, I'd love to ask you all, how do you feel about your Vice President of Membership role? Do you feel content with your role? Do you feel enthusiastic? Or do you feel a little bit uncertain or, obligated? Somebody asked you or the club needs you, so you feel that you're obligated to serve. Well, for me, when I was first starting out, I was a little uncertain, but also I was enthusiastic as well. So I was kind of like the combination of B and C over there. But definitely make a note of how you feel right now, because our goal, well, my goal, first of all, is to make sure that none of these turn into being overwhelmed, but at the same time, slowly, I'd like for your feelings to become more content or enthusiastic about your Vice President of Membership role. So let's get started into it. As a Vice President of Membership, there are many roles that you'll be fulfilling. You'll be promoting your club. You'll be bringing in the guests, transforming guests into members, making sure that you have constant influx of new people coming to your club, membership levels, monitoring them, overcoming membership challenges, and all of that. The way I like to see it as the Vice President of Membership is that anything that has to do with the members of the club, it is your responsibility. Okay. Well, Vice President of PR, Public Relations, what they are primarily doing is they're publicizing the club through different PR channels. Whether depends on whether you're a corporate club or a community club, they use different channels to reach out to people, make sure that people are aware of what Toastmasters is and everything. They help people, they help bring in guests and everyone. But you, as the Vice President of Membership, is responsible for the well-being of the members and making sure that you have enough members in the club for the club to stay healthy. And to make sure that you have enough members in the club, it is one of your roles to make sure that you have constant influx of new members coming in. You have guests coming in consistently. Your guests are being converted into members, And more importantly, making sure that new guests who are being converted into members, they know what to do, orienting them, making sure that they love being part of your club, your culture. Every club has its own culture. But at the same time, well, there could be some membership challenges that may occur as well. It could be that your attendance is really low, or people don't like attending online meetings, for example, or whatever challenges you're facing with your members. It is also kind of your responsibility to overcome those challenges and make sure that the well-being of your members is taken care of. So moving on, as we'll go into each one of these individually to help you understand what you will be doing as the vice president of membership. Now, if you have already served in this role before, you may be familiar with many of these responsibilities, in which case I'd love for you, as we're going through these topics, I'd love for you to post it in the chat. What are some of your experiences with each one of the topics that we will be discussing? Okay. You can also share some of the pitfalls that you have learned, that you have overcome, maybe some suggestions, maybe some things I might miss. And if you feel like it is important, or you have learned something, or it would be valuable for everyone else, please go ahead and post it in the chat, because we are a community and we learn from each other. But as responsibilities go, we'll be talking a little bit about what you can do about go about recruiting new members. How can you conduct membership building programs? How can you assist guests, process membership applications? And of course, we'll talk a little bit about member retention and growth programs as well. So your number one responsibility as vice president of membership is to recruit new members. Now, what does that include? Well, that does mean that you will be leading the club's efforts to continually increase your membership. Okay. And by the way, if you see here in the picture, you don't have to be in healthcare field, or you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse or anything else. This picture is supposed to signify how you should act and smile when you're meeting new guests. Okay. That was the best picture I could find. But anyway, you are leading the club's effort to increase the membership. And as vice president of membership, you are responsible for 2 out of the 10 DCP goals as well. Do you know what DCP goals are? Some of you may be familiar with it, but DCP stands for Distinguished Club Program. And you will see that there are many different goals in it, out of which 2 of them are membership related goals for which you are responsible. And if you don't know, actually, I'll go ahead and quickly share my screen here to show you all how it looks like. So let me see if I can do this. Okay. To check it, it's very simple. Go to your browser. And the way I like to do it is I like to go to dashboards.toastmasters.org. Okay. And anybody can go, and you don't even have to log in, and type in your club name or whichever club you want to search for. And I'll go ahead and search for my home club here. So pick Masters and click on search. And that should bring up your club's report. So my apologies, having issues with my video here. Okay, so that should pretty much bring up your how you're performing as a club. And as you can see, there are 10 different goals that you are required as the DCP program to accomplish. And what the DCP does is that it measures the health of a club. The more number of goals you accomplish, the healthier your club is. And that is what Toastmasters has found out to be the best way. It has been followed for years and years and years. Now, out of this, you can see that goals number 7 and 8 are membership related goals, for which you would need about 8 new members in an entire year to accomplish both of these goals. Okay. And I know with everything being online now, and with the COVID and everything, many people don't want to attend online meetings and everything. And I know that many clubs have struggled with membership. So I know that that this is a challenge. Okay, but let's work hard, because I know that things are opening back up again. More and more clubs are going hybrid now, and now when clubs go hybrid, then there is usually not an excuse that, oh, I don't want to attend online meetings, because there's always an in-person meeting. So many of your clubs will be transitioning to hybrid as well. So as the VP of membership, let's plan that and make sure that we're able to do this. So, but make sure that you are on top of these two goals because you will be responsible for your club. And if you look up here, right, it will also show you what your base membership is and what is a required membership. If your base membership is more than 23, then you will, well, then in that case, your required membership is at least 20. Okay, that you need to have at least 20 members. But if your base membership is less than 20, then you will have to have a net growth of 5 new members or 20 members. For example, your current membership is 12, your base membership is 12, then your required membership to qualify for the DCP credits is 12 plus 5, that is 17. But let's say if you have 18 members in your club, that's your base membership. In that case, your required membership will be 20. So just go to this page for your club, and it should actually tell you what your exact required membership is. And let's stay on top of these two because this is very, very, very essential. Now, moving back to my slideshow here. So let's make sure that we're able to accomplish the goal of 8 new members and set a membership goal. And this is something that you can work along with your club officers. I'm sure that your club officers are meeting on a regular basis. If not, then that could be a great way to start. Just talk to your president and see if you can meet on a regular basis and set a membership goal for the club. And I always like to say a SMART goal. SMART goal is something that is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. So what that means is, to keep it very simple, make sure it is specific and it has a time goal. For example, there's a great example goal of that your club could be, for example, you want to gain 1 new member per month. It is very specific and has time associated with it. Or you want to obtain 20 members by the end of the year or sooner, right? That's again a very specific, timely goal. So let's make sure that we're able to set this goal, communicate it to all the officers, communicate to all the clubs, and so that we all can move forward with it. Now, the other responsibility is to conduct membership building programs. Okay. And like it's mentioned over here on the screen, that while the VP of PR motivates people to visit your club, you motivate your current members to invite guests. It's not just the VP of PR that is responsible for bringing in guests. Each and every member of the club is responsible for bringing in guests because it is your club. It is everybody's club. And as the VP of membership, you are coordinating all of that. It is the fun part. I really like it. And there are many Toastmasters sponsored programs. For example, there are 3 membership building programs that happen all year round. We have the Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters, Beat the Clock. And you can see the Toastmasters here, as you may be familiar with, it starts from July and ends in June. So the moment it starts, the Smedley Award starts on August 1st. That way it's for 2 months, making sure that you're able to get 5 new dual or reinstated members, and you get some cool things from Toastmasters, a ribbon, some gift cards, D3 bucks and everything. We have Talk Up Toastmasters as well, in which you are encouraged to talk about Toastmasters, invite people to maybe like an open house or an event where guests can come and learn more about your club, about Toastmasters, and then encourage them to join. And the same thing, 5 new dual or reinstated members, and you will get cool goodies from Toastmasters as well, and also from District 3. And the Beat the Clock campaign, that happens at the end of the year, so that by the year is ending May and June, you're able to make sure that you're able to grab onto these onto new members and making sure that you are ending the year on a strong note. But understand that all these 3 are designed for your club to, or they're there so that your club is motivated to getting new members, but also you are incentivized to do it, right? We have that 8 new member goal in the DCP credit, right? The DCP goal list. And when you have these, when you align your membership building programs with these 3, then not only that you'll be able to accomplish those 2 goals, but also you'll be getting goodies and good stuff for your club as well. And in addition to the club, we also have something for the individuals. So that we have the individual member programs in which you can sponsor people and you can get rewarded, not the club, because in these three, the club gets rewarded, but in the individual member programs, you as an individual gets rewarded. And this was something that I did not know for the longest time, really. But if you have noticed, whenever a new application is submitted, you can actually enter the name of a sponsor, the person who has sponsored the new member. And so we highly encourage people to always put in the name of the sponsor. That sponsor is typically the person who has invited the guest, or if the guests has come by themselves, then you can also put in your name in there too. It depends, again, talk with the president and the VP education and everyone. But when you sponsor 5, 10, or 15 new members in an entire Toastmaster year, you get rewarded by Toastmasters. So it is a great way to build membership as well, if you are the one who's bringing more and more people to the club. But when I say you, as the vice president of membership, please pass this on to the rest of your club too, because every single person has the ability to get new members, but at the same time get recognized for the effort that they're putting in. And you can find all of this information in this link right here that I've just posted. But in addition to Toastmaster sponsored programs, you can also have some club sponsored programs. So these programs are not by Toastmasters, these are by your club. And in this case, the clubs can conduct their own membership building programs. They can host events like open houses or whatever. They can happen anytime during the year. And again, the club gets to decide when it happens and how it happens. And I know that in my home club, we have done some of our club sponsored programs, and we have also aligned those programs with the one of the 3 annual membership programs as well. And it could be simple. It could be recognizing people for the number of guests you bring. For example, in an entire quarter, the person who brings the most number of guests may get something, a goodie, a candy, gift card, whatever, depends on your club budget and everything, right? Or you can have like a mini contest in your club where whoever can bring in more guests, or whoever can have more number of members in like a month period or something like that, then they get recognized or rewarded in one way or the other. So it's really up to the clubs how they go about doing it, but your clubs are more than welcome to conduct their own membership programs, and you as VP of membership get to lead it. How cool is that? I think vice president of membership is the most fun officer role, in my opinion, that I've experienced myself. Your number 2 responsibility is to assist guests. Guests are coming in, right? And make sure that you're able to answer emails, phone calls, other inquiries from all the prospects. Whenever we have seen that many clubs, members or prospects, they go to toastmasters.org website, they find a club and then they communicate to the club through the Toastmasters website, and they never hear back. They never hear back. And depends. Some clubs mention president as the point of contact. Some clubs mention the vice president of membership as the contact. But whatever it is, just make sure that you're in alignment with your club, and make sure that anybody who is interested, respond to them. Just respond to them. And sometimes if you're a closed corporate club, and if there is somebody else who's interested in Toastmasters who's outside of your company or organization or something, many times people choose not to respond to them, which is okay. But I would recommend, if you get an inquiry from somebody outside of your organization, just respond to them and connect them with some other club in your area, in your community, or maybe connect them with your area director so that they can connect them with the right club for their organization. But Toastmasters is all about people. It is all about adding value to people. It is all about helping people grow as better communicators, better leaders, so that they can become confident human beings. So it is our responsibility to give information to whoever who is interested, because somebody who is a prospect, somebody who contacts you, they're doing it because they want to grow themselves in one way or the other. They either want to become a better speaker, or they want to overcome fear, or whatever it may be. So it is your responsibility as a club officer to reach back out to them and give them the support that they need, or connect them with the right person, your area director or anyone else, right? And when you have a prospect who is interested, encourage them to visit the club, next club meeting, give them the information, make sure that it's easy for them, right? If you're using a Zoom, make sure that they have the actual Zoom ID, right? I've seen many clubs whose Zoom ID change every week, and the guests are like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Like this Zoom ID is not working, right? But as you go into having more hybrid meetings this year, make sure that you are giving good directions to your prospects. And when they do come in, they become official guests. Engage with them personally, talk to them before, during, after, make them feel welcome. Right? And this is an important thing, making them feel welcome. And this at this point, I'd like you all to just put it in the chat. What do you do what would you like to do, or what does your club do to make your guests feel welcome? Because think about it, if I am a guest and I'm going into your club, I would want to feel welcome. I'd want to feel good about this club, the environment and everything, right? It should exude the values and the mission and the principles of Toastmasters. So make sure that your club, the environment and everything is aligned so that it supports the guests and what they see and how they see it benefit themselves. And it's just not that you will have to talk to the guests. Encourage your other fellow club members to do it too. Encourage them to talk to the guests, make them feel welcome, because I would want, if I'm a guest, then I'd like to talk to as many members as possible. And it would be really helpful if other members are also welcoming and smiling and talking to me, right? Guest packets, distribute guest packets. And we'll talk about guest packets in the next slide, but explain them the benefits of joining Toastmasters and invite them back. Many times I've seen people say the guests are leaving, they're like, okay, see ya. Or the meeting is over and the guest just walks out of the door. Sure, yeah, I mean, if they don't want to join, that's okay, but still talk to them, ask them why, whatever it may be, but invite them back to the next meeting as a guest. And if you feel that they're ready or they have come to enough meetings, invite them to become a member as well. Don't hesitate, because the true value is added when we invite them back. The true value is added when we invite them to become a member. Because if you don't, understand that Toastmasters is an invite-only group. Nobody can join by themselves. They have to be invited, right? Either they can come, but then you still have to invite them to become a part of the club. So when we invite them, that is when we truly start to add value to people's lives. Otherwise, they would never have the opportunity to grow themselves, right? Guest packets. It is a great way. What are guest packets? Guest packets are something that you give to your club, to your guests actually, who attend your meetings. And it has some information in it. And I've given an example of good, better, and best here, but you can actually go to this link here and I'll actually show it to you actually. Let me share my screen. Okay. So if you go to aztoastmasters.org, and again, this is a great resource for you. Just go to member resources and additional resources, and you will find guest and new member packets. And this is great because, again, it is the same thing I pretty much copied from here. But make sure that when your guests leave, they leave with some information about your club, the meeting information, contact information. Maybe share with them a few flyers, a brochure about Toastmasters. Also, add a pre-filled membership application too. That way, they don't need to hunt for a membership application. And then you can add more information to it as well, and everything. And the same goes with new member packets as well. So new member packets are the packets that you give to your new members who join the club. And that includes many different things. For example, welcome letter, club resources, Toastmasters promise and everything. But instead of saying this, I'll actually give you an example, because if you scroll down, there are some good examples of all these guest packets. So let's open one of these actually. This is from this amazing club called Agua Fria Club. And this is the guest packet that they distribute. And of course, in hybrid meetings, you would give it in person, right? You would like to have it in like a folder and have these papers in there and everything. But if it is online meeting, like email, send an email to your guests, make sure that you get the contact information and send this email to them. That way they have that information with them. But just an information about the club mission and everything. I really like this. And then some brochures, information about the meetings, and the process, the steps that guests need to follow to become members. And oh, this is great. They have meeting role overviews. That way they know what's happening, or especially when they come back, they know all the meeting roles. They've also included club officer roles, This is great. So they've added some brochures. These brochures are available on Toastmasters, but also if you go back to this link here, all of these are actually links. So you can literally click on these and it will take you to whichever flyer that they're talking about. And then about a little bit about pathways and a pre-filled membership application. The club number is already filled out, club name and everything, and the dues and all of that, which is pretty cool. So this is an example of a guest packet, and I also show an example of a new member packet from this one, from pen to podium. Well, let's check out the same club. I'll go for you. Welcome letter right here. Benefits of Toastmasters, the Toastmasters promise. Okay, and resources on, I think this is the Toast and understanding the different resources that people can have. And this will be different for every club. Every club does this differently. So make sure that all of that goes in here, and good stuff. So definitely I'd highly recommend checking this out. They've also there's a description, this time in more detail than the previous one. And this is good, this is good. Oh, they have also included an icebreaker project there and the assignment and everything. That is a great way. These are great examples. So please go ahead, go to this website, check out the new member packets, the guest packets, get some inspiration. And in the meantime, if you'd like to post it in the chat as well, some of the things that you do for your club, that your club does to include, or what does your club include in your guest packet? What does your club include in your new member packet? So moving on, we'll go a little bit fast from here. Number 3 responsibility is to process membership applications. And this is pretty straightforward. In some clubs, this is handled by the treasurer, but even if the treasurer is handling the membership application because money is involved, then in that case, as the vice president of membership, you should still facilitate the entire process. Make sure you communicate dues to the guests. The guests should never be confused about how much they have to pay to join Toastmasters. That is not who we are. Don't keep it a secret. Explain everything so that they understand, because I know sometimes club dues can get confusing, and at least that's what has happened, what I've experienced. But yeah, make sure that you are able to collect and manage the paperwork. And I've highlighted this word here, promptly. As soon as you receive the paperwork, application form, and the money and everything, form of payment from your guest, make sure you give it to the treasurer and or the secretary, whoever does the processing in your club. Give it to them ASAP and make sure that they're registered quickly. And the reason for that is many things, because when you register them, they're online and pay their dues online. Then it depends when you're paying it. If you're paying it during one of the membership building campaigns, then you can get credit for it, because if you delay it, then you won't. But also it is very essential to make sure that it is done by the renewal days, the end of the renewal deadlines, and especially important for club contests and everything. But anyway, just do it quickly. And then, of course, facilitate new member inductions. Every club does it differently. And I'd love for you to post it in the chat how your club does the new member inductions. Some clubs like to vote, some clubs don't vote, but they just welcome members, or have them give like a 1 to 2 minute like introduction speech or whatever it may be, right? But your club, every club is different. I'd love to hear how your club does new member inductions. Again, new member inductions happen differently in online meetings as compared to like a hybrid meeting or an in-person meeting. An online meeting, what we have seen is that people can use the waiting room or the virtual lobby to put the guests in while they're doing the voting or whatever. In case of hybrid meeting, it does get a little bit tricky, so you'll have to figure out what works best. But in-person meeting, typically the sergeant at arms escorts them outside of the room. But whatever happens, right? And you may not even vote, which is okay too. But whatever you do, make sure that when new members join the club, it is memorable for them. And then, of course, give them the new member packets. We already discussed that earlier. And again, these are the good, better, and best for the new member packets, which was already on the website. And I've shown you some examples. You can take a snapshot of this or go back to the resource, that link I showed you over there, and you will find that each one of these is a link. So you can actually click on it and download whatever information or material that you need to download. So, and the last one, I have mentioned this as an optional responsibility, member retention and growth programs. And the reason I mentioned it as an optional responsibility is because this responsibility is not covered in the club leadership handbook. However, from my experience and what I've seen in other clubs and everything as well, is that the vice president of membership is also responsible for member retention, or having the member retention programs and helping members grow. So I'll share a little bit about this here so that you know. And again, if this is your first time becoming a vice president of membership, that's okay. You don't have to worry about this. You can work with some of the more experienced members in your club or your president or other officers to work on these things as well. But these are just some things for you to keep in mind. And the first responsibility is to assist new members. What happens, and again, assisting new members doesn't mean that you go hike up that mountain. Again, it's a picture to represent that you help them. But by all means, if you want to go hike a mountain, you can. But anyway, what I've seen is that many times we do so much work and effort to get the new members in the club. And once they join the club, they don't know what to do next. Many times they don't know what to do next. Okay, so I've joined this club. Now what? Or should I just come to the meetings? What is pathways? Everybody is giving speeches. Should I sign up for a speech or not? Or I feel too afraid to do something. And I don't know if I have the confidence to stand up and even take the timer role or whatever it may be, right? And what we have seen is that new members, when they're not guided properly, they lose interest and they leave the club. So as vice president of membership, you can take some steps to assist the new members. So your role doesn't end in helping them become members, but it continues forward up to a certain extent, right? And it could be conducting orientation for new members. And I know this is something that we do in my home club in Pick Masters, where the VP of membership conducts a one-on-one like a meeting with the new member. And then in that meeting, they walk them, they help them understand the purpose of the club, the mission of the club, what the Toastmasters is, the benefits. It's like a one-on-one conversation. Help them understand what pathways is. They walk them through pathways, even help them select a path. Like while they're in that one-on-one meeting, help them choose a path, maybe walk them through the icebreaker project and things like that, and ask them what is their goal, what is their why, so that you're able to connect them a little bit better. If your club has a mentorship program where you assign mentors to new members, then work with the vice president of education to assign them with a mentor so that they can take it forward from there. Encourage them to take up meeting roles. Again, these things can happen over a period of time as well. Encourage them to schedule their first speech, but kind of like hold their hands a little bit as vice president of membership. And if you have somebody in your club who already does it, like for example, if VP education takes care of all of this, then that's even better. But if not, then you can think about these things that, okay, what can you do to make sure that the new members join the club and their expectations are being fulfilled, and then they're growing? Because one thing I've seen is that members who are growing never leave the club. Members who feel that they're not growing are the ones who will question whether they will have to renew their membership or not. So as vice president of membership, take care of your members, especially the new ones, and help them, guide them the right way. Okay, so that is one. The other important thing is to work on overcoming membership challenges. Like here on the screen, you see there's a ton of membership challenges. For example, low attendance count. People don't show up to meetings, right? There are too many people who are leaving the club consistently. They're not renewing their membership. There's very low membership, right? Like you're struggling. It's like 8, 9, 10 members, which becomes difficult because every time somebody comes, like in every meeting, you may not have enough people to fill all the roles, right? Members are not motivated to give a speech. You're not having prepared speeches. You haven't had prepared speeches in a long time, and members don't want to give a speech. Why is it so, right? Or members may be uncomfortable with pathways, or officers not willing to attend TLI at all, right? Well, kudos to you for coming here, right? But what about conflict between members, right? You can have conflict happen between 2 members or 2 officers. Members are not willing to renew membership. I don't know, I think I covered that already. Members not stepping up to become officers because they think that it is too much, or they won't have the time, or they are not ready for the responsibility or whatever, right? They're not willing to participate in speech contests, or members not inspired to serve beyond the club, like at an area level or district level, right? Or boring meetings, right? People think meetings are boring, is the same thing every time, right? Those things. And then many other challenges. And I'd actually love for you to post in the chat, what membership challenges have you faced in your club? And every club faces their own membership challenges, right? It could be like, let's say you are a corporate club and something happened and in your company organization or structure, and suddenly you lost like 75% of your club members because of that, right? Those are unique individual challenges as well. So as the vice president of membership, again, are you responsible for each one of these and overcoming them? Responsible? Maybe. Or yes, rather, I would say, because at least if I'm the vice president of membership, I want to make sure that all my members are taken care of and all the members are growing and they're feeling good and happy about the club and everything. That means that making sure that working with the vice president of education to make sure that they're growing, they are constantly giving speeches, right? But let's take one of these a few of these situations here. Let's say you have a low membership, right? You notice that your club is having low membership. Then what do? Well, we have some of the great membership building programs that you can make use of and work with the officers to conduct those membership building programs, right? Low attendance count. People are not showing up to meetings. That is a very common problem. Trust me, it is very, very, very common problem. In that case, again, talk with the officers, strategize. Okay, what can be done? Ask yourself, not yourself, but the club members, the officers, and maybe people who haven't attended. Why is it that you're not attending? Like, is there something that you're looking for, or any of your expectations are not being met, or is just your schedule too busy, or whatever, right? But think about, or is it just that it's the same thing over and over again, it's getting boring and they're not seeing the value that they're receiving? Then in that case, see what you can do. Maybe you can make table topics more interesting, or maybe you can have some special themed meetings, or you can try to make it meetings more fun, or you can get into a different pace and maybe conduct something like a speech craft, right? Or maybe give people what they're looking for. Many times we don't know what people are looking for. So yeah, it's up to you as vice president of membership to learn about leadership and learn about how you can work with your other members, officers, and everything to overcome these challenges, right? Let's see, we can take one more. Members not willing to participate in speech contests. It is another one that I've seen, very common, very common. People feel shy or timid or scared or afraid or things like that. But again, there are many ways to go about doing it. And again, you can brainstorm it with your club officers to see what can you do to encourage and inspire more members to participate in speech contests, right? Maybe show them some videos of speech content. Maybe do a speech in a club where you are, which is like a contest style speech to encourage your members to do it, right? Or maybe just, again, there are many different ways to do it. Maybe invite a guest speaker in who has participated in a speech contest or who has won the area or district level speech contest. And again, your area director can help you out with this as well. But again, I'm just brainstorming and throwing some ideas around. But as vice president of membership, essentially what I'm trying to say over here is that look into your membership, look into the challenges your membership is facing, look into what challenges your club is facing in terms of its members, and see what you can do to help the club members become a stronger, cohesive unit. Okay. And then lastly, just some resources. There's information available at your fingertips. We went over the District 3 Toastmasters website. I showed you. There are some club officer roles available, trainings, guest packets. All of that is available at this link. aztoastmasters.org has a lot of information. Please go there and check them out. Again, we have the Toastmasters International website, where they have some good club officer tools, the club leadership handbook and everything. Your club leadership handbook, I forgot to include it in here, but that is a great resource as well. And your area director is an amazing resource. Any question you have, please reach out to your area director and they will always help you out. They will, if they cannot help you out directly, they'll connect you with somebody who can help you out. So please stay in communication with them, and the better communication, the relationship you build with them, the better it is. But these are all the resources that you have available for your help, for you to excel as vice president of membership. And to end this, just some summary of responsibilities. Essentially, I'll present the same information, but in a different way, right? What to do before, during, and after club meeting, right? In a nice little sheet here, right? Before club meeting, coordinate the induction ceremony for any newly joined members. If you have a newly joined members, coordinate it with your president, vice president education, whoever does it. Make sure that your guest packets are ready, right? If it is in person. If it is not in person, then of course they're ready, it's online, right? So you just have to make sure that those guest packets are being sent out, right? Encourage your past members and inactive members to attend the next meeting as well, right? Again, this goes back to the challenge of like low attendance, right? People who haven't attended the meetings for some time, or who are inactive, or who are past guests or past members who didn't renew, feel free to reach out to them, send them an email or a phone call or text or whatever works best for you, and encourage them that, hey, we have this next meeting coming up, come join us, right? We have this new schedule, we have these new speakers, and so and so. During the meeting, greet and welcome all guests and members as well, right? You don't have to just welcome the guests and ignore the members. Welcome everybody, because it's who you are. But definitely engage with the guests personally, and again, provide them with guest packets. And if it is online, make sure you email it to them prior, and answer any questions your guests may have about Toastmasters, right? Before the meeting, after the meeting, whenever, right? The benefits of Toastmasters, the benefit that you have seen, introduce them to some of your club members, introduce them to the president, and things like that. One thing I always like to do is the guests, I always introduce them to the prepared speaker of the day, and have the prepared speaker share their experience with the guest as well. So again, every club does it differently, whichever way you want to do it. And after the meeting, explain them the benefits of Toastmaster, invite them back again as guests again, or invite them to become members. And when you give them the membership application, sometimes guests are kind of confused how to fill it out. Help them out as well. Okay. But these are just the summary of responsibilities, and of course, making sure that you're taking care of all the other membership related things and everything. So with this, we're towards the end of this session, nuts and bolts. And I'd like to end with this. How do you feel now? Do you feel content, enthusiastic, uncertain, obligated, or I added a fifth one here, overwhelmed? Did I overwhelm you? If I did, that wasn't my intention. But I'm sure that this recording will be available for you. I know it can be a lot. It can be a lot, especially if this is your first time as vice president of membership, or your first time as an officer, or if you're just somebody who's interested in vice president of membership. A lot of these things can feel that it is too much. But if you have seen Harry Potter, then you'd recognize what I'm going to say next. Help will always be given at Toastmasters to those who ask for it. Toastmasters is a great community. People are here to support you, help you grow and everything. And one thing is there, that if you're stuck, people will always step up. People from your club will step up who are more experienced. People in your area director will step up to help you out. But as long as you ask for it, help will always be given at Toastmasters. And the next one I have here is sometimes I felt the same way actually when I first took up my first officer role, and I asked myself, am I ready? Am I ready to be an officer? Am I ready to be the vice president of membership? Because it seems like too much, and my organizational skills aren't great. I'm not good in following up with people. I'm not good in communicating with people. I don't like talking to people. How can I engage with guests and things like that? And for that, I always like to remind myself and share this with the people, is that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And this is the coolest thing about Toastmasters. It is such a supportive environment where we encourage people to make mistakes, because that is how we learn and grow. It is not that we first become perfect and then take up an officer role, but we take up an officer role first and then we become excellent. We never become perfect, but we chase excellence, right? So That's okay. We're never ready for things in many different things in life, but we take the first step and we become ready through that process. And I trust you, I believe in you, and I know that you will be able to become the best vice president of membership that your club has ever seen. Thank you so much for attending this nuts and bolts session. And if you have any questions, please post it in the chat with your contact information. The moderator will connect them with me, and that way I can respond it back to you. Or you can email me directly at my email ID that's mentioned here on the screen, maxprasad.dtm@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everybody. It was a pleasure sharing these 45 minutes with you. And I hope that you're enjoying the rest of your TLI and learn something more valuable and start to apply that in your own life, in your Toastmasters career, and in your club. Thank you, and over and out from Tempe, Arizona.